Welcome to this special edition of the We Are Change talk show. I'm your host, Jeff O'Toole. It's been a challenging few weeks here, but We Are Change is back in the trenches. We're dug in, battle-hardened, and ready for anything. Which brings me to today's guest. He is a former two-time Guinness World Record holder, passionate activist, and an absolute savage at Jiu-Jitsu. I bring to you General Smokin Joe Mekhael. It's an honour to be a part of the Save the World Army, all the wonderful work that's being done, joining forces, We Are Change. It's a powerhouse. So how you been, Joe?
I've been fantastic, man. Did jiu-jitsu training this morning. I'm so happy to have recruited a bunch of the boys from the team, and I really think going forward, focusing on our health, focusing on, not going crazy among all crazy things that are happening is one of the most important things for us to bring our attention to. So,
exactly. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for about a year now, and it's wonderful, mind, body and soul. When you apply yourself, it's amazing just how much you can pick up and the understanding of the art itself. Within 6 months, not only can you learn self-defense, but you can break arms and legs too if need be. It's very effective, isn't it, Joe? The camaraderie between the guys, it's awesome. I highly recommend it, and it's very popular. Seems like everybody's getting involved now. Celebrities to citizens in the community. It's wonderful.
I love it, man. Like you said, it's so good for your mental health. It's so good physically to do that exercise, to get a sweat up. It's so good. The self-defense skills, some of the most important skills a human could ever learn, how to really win a fight against someone who's bigger and stronger than you, who's the aggressor. I can't recommend it enough. I'm so glad to see so many warriors all over the world taking up martial arts, taking up jiu-jitsu. It's a beautiful thing.
And you feel peace within yourself, and when something that might be daunting in the past, like maybe checking your ATM at midnight, when you have that behind yourself and that confidence, it makes life so much easier, doesn't it?
100%, man. You know that if anything happens, you can handle yourself. And also to that point, if someone is yelling at you or getting mad at you in some type of social situation, you can handle it with much more calmness, because you got 150 kilo dudes trying to rip your head off on a daily basis, and you've got to be calm in those situations to work through and escape. So that transfers to so many aspects of your life.
You're on a very strict regiment, dietary program. I've seen basically it's just fruit and vegetables. That's your staple, isn't it?
Mainly fruit and nuts. So I'm doing one meal a day now. Once again, today's a perfect example. I already did the 10:30 jiu-jitsu class, an hour of fundamentals and half an hour of sparring, and I'm going back for the evening class, another hour and a half in just over 3 hours, and I'm not going to eat till after the evening class. I'm going to have one big meal. You see it on Instagram and Facebook. One big meal, lots of fruit, lots of nuts, load up on the almonds and walnuts, and it's delicious, man. And it's just so healthy. And when you fast throughout the day, you really enjoy the food. And we live in a society where there's such gluttony and such a glut of diseases that are just caused by lifestyle factors, by people not exercising, by people eating too much and eating all the time. And I really think on top of that, the discipline you build as well when you fast is a really amazing thing. I've got two Save the World warriors who are, I think one of them's on the broadcast now, the Serbian Hammer. He's fasting as well. He's picked it up and he's eating basically a vegan diet.
Very effective. Alternate day fasting, one meal a day. You can notice the results straight away. You check the scales, it's quite dramatic, and there needs to be more of an emphasis on diet and exercise. See, a lot of the foods that people are eating, they get these big insulin crashes, and then they're laying on the couch from all the sugar, and they're just not fueling their body in the correct way.
You're exactly right, man. So much processed garbage, so many chemicals in the food, all the drinks as well, and people are just eating so much, and it's like a drug. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You get high from eating really good food, and like you said, you're sitting on the couch, you just want to watch TV, and it's all done by design to keep the people in a stupor, so they're not using their faculties to their full extent.
Absolutely, it's very sad, and they just watch life pass them by, and that can be attributed to the food that they're eating and the GMOs. It's all genetically modified, and what you see in supermarkets now, going back decades ago, it wouldn't even be considered food. So it's very alarming what they're pushing. Fast food eating habits, it seems to be most convenient, and that seems to be the choice that people are making: convenience over health.
It is really sad that's happening. But what I found is that leading by example is the way to go. And that's what the Save the World Army is all about. I've done my best to make my life the example and to discipline myself with regards to diet and exercise. And I've been sleeping on the floor and haven't had sex or masturbated since the start of the year, doing my best to discipline myself however I can. And I find once you do that, and once people see your positive demeanor and how healthy and strong you are, they want to follow in your footsteps. And this is what's happening when I see guys from the other side of the world starting jiu-jitsu. I think in part because I've been pushing it so much. Starting a vegan diet, I love taking a little bit of credit for that because I've been pushing it so much. So when you set a good example and you are a vibrant, healthy, lovable character, people are going to say, man, what are you doing to get that way? And they're going to follow in your footsteps.
Martial arts, it's not for the faint-hearted. It requires a lot of determination and self-discipline, doesn't it? Especially in the early stages. And you've got that in spades. So you should be very proud of yourself.
Very excited because I know that, there's so much more work to do. But the great thing is I can feel myself improving and I can feel myself becoming happier and stronger, and I can see the people around me, even people, in the past who have been angry at me and, have pushed me away because of my revolutionary activities. They see every single day I'm waking up at 4 a.m., I'm doing the right thing, I'm training, I'm eating healthy, I'm fasting all day, and that I'm always happy, I'm always positive, and they want a piece of that.
You're an absolute warrior, and to be able to sustain that lifestyle, that's once again a testament to your character. The censorship is horrendous. We're seeing YouTube channels demonetized. They're trying to stop people from being able to care and look after their family. They're hitting them on a financial level, making it harder to get the information out, information that's going to be vital and that's going to save many lives. They don't want that. The agenda is in full speed. They're pushing for a new world order, and they will not rest until they get that. It's very alarming. You've copped the brunt of that. Your Facebook page has been taken down. So you know, as well as anybody, the effects that censorship has.
I don't know if you remember back in the day, like on this broadcast on the Save the World Army page, we regularly had well over 100 simultaneous viewers on these live streams. The record is 252. I mean, the page has more than 45,000 people that like it. But I'm posting articles and videos prolifically. And I'm scrolling down the page, it's like, one person saw this article. 2 people saw this post. The shadow ban is phenomenal. And, they already deleted my personal Facebook account after my Anzac Day protest. And we're using a backdoor to stream live, and we have been for over 2 years. But the thing is, we know things are going to get worse. One day, they can cancel all our Facebook accounts, and they're cancelling many accounts over many platforms as we speak. One day they can just turn off the internet. One day the electricity can disappear. Boom. just like what's happening in South America, in Uruguay and Argentina, and all over the place, thousands and thousands of people with no electricity. We still have a platform to speak out, and it is our moral responsibility to speak out as long as we can, to shout it from the rooftops and help our brothers and sisters who are being brutalized as we speak.
And that's exactly what you've been doing. You've been solid with your campaign efforts. You've educated people on vaccinations, chemtrails, GMOs, Freemasons. The list goes on. You have to be relentless and ruthless, because that's exactly how the globalists operate. We've just had Bilderberg. All of these minds have been getting together. They're plotting against the public. That was in Switzerland. It's diabolical. And the communities have to rally together and work together, don't they, Joe?
You're exactly right, my man. And to see your face today is a great thing, because I know that the people are coming together. You know as well as I do, the people we're up against are rapists, they're pedophiles, they have no qualms about killing people en masse, they have no compunction about the most disgusting things. So for them to censor us, it's only a drop in the ocean. I think about, being censored, and, sometimes I think, man, this sucks. But then I think about the people who are being brutalized in underground dungeons as we speak. I think about people who are living in war zones, and there are so many of them. And, in reality, we are so blessed to still have this platform. And the reason that they're censoring us so badly, the reason they're escalating with the 5G towers and the garbage on television, the propaganda, and all of it, is because they're freaking out. They know the people are awake. There might be millions of mindless, moronic, mental midgets out there who just want to watch the footy and waste their lives and just go to work every day and waste their evenings watching TV and repeat and repeat and repeat. But there are people who really care. There are people who really have the guts to stand for this evil system and to take a stand despite being demonized, criticized, ostracized by their family and friends. And I'm so glad to have you with us and to have so many warriors with us fighting every day. That's the reason I founded the Save the World Army 1,009 days ago, because I've been doing this for a long time.
Well done, and hopefully we'll both be triumphant. It was written by George Orwell. He said, there'll be a time when telling the truth will become a revolutionary act. And what we're witnessing now is families turning against one another, differences of opinion, people are being isolated from their community, all for speaking the truth. I mean, it's alarming and it's devastating to watch this unfold, and it's just so unfair. Friends, they're losing acquaintances. It's really upsetting. Hopefully there'll be an age of revealing when these people will regret turning their back on people that care for the planet.
That time is now, my brother. I'm telling you. The good thing is, we're developing patience. And patience is the most important thing. We're in a very strange, unique situation, because many people who are against us, calling us every name under the sun, working, hard to put us down, to make us feel small, to gaslight us, to make us feel like we're crazy. They're our friends, they're our families, and they're the people we're working to save. So we have to develop a higher consciousness, a thick skin, to be able to take the insults and not to lash out, not to fight back. Because we know people, will sometimes pick at us and try to get us to respond, to get us to lash out, so they can say, oh, look at this crazy conspiracy theorist. But
that's right.
We have to develop, once again, patience to do the right thing and be a good example, so they can see that, just trying to go at us is not going to work.
There needs to be more communication involved. Now, yeah, the 5G, that's really sad what's happening. All the plants and trees are dying around a lot of these 5G towers, and we have these smart meters being installed Some of the elderly are waking up in the middle of the night with migraines because of these smart meters. We need to get these uninstalled immediately, don't we, Joe?
You're exactly right, my man. And I've got to be honest with you, there's a smart meter probably about 3 meters just over my right shoulder. I don't own this house and came home one day and there was a smart meter there, and I'm doing my best to speak to the owner about the terrible effects, mental effects, physical effects, not on myself. I'm not, suffering from really anything that I can put my finger on, but I know other people in the household are. What I think I'm going to have to do in that regard is what other people have done, is to purchase a gas meter which measures radiation. And I really want to make some videos online, going to different devices, going to these 5G towers, going to the smart meter, and showing people how the radiation is through the roof. But I am doing my best to minimize screen time. I've got rid of a whole bunch of wireless devices, turning off the router in the evening, and it's a crazy world we live in, swimming in this radiation soup, my brother.
Certainly is.
Keep moving forward.
Absolutely, and that's a really good idea, getting a Geiger counter, some testers and some gauges to pick up the radiation levels. That's like a preemptive strike before the devastation takes on and you start to get major health problems because of it. You've got to be proactive, don't you, Joe?
Definitely, and I've got to shout out to Save the World Sergeant 1133 OG Steve from down in Ballarat, near your way in Victoria, and he has done some of these experiments, and he did a great thing, man. He found out that if you actually wrap the smart meter in aluminium foil, it cuts out all of the radiation. There was a very high reading with the meter.
That could prevent a lot of health issues.
I've got to give it to OG Steve once again, but once again, that's what's so great about Save the World Army. More than 1,100 people strong on every continent, working together, using their intelligence to overcome this incredibly evil system.
And if people can combat it in a legal and ethical manner, well, that's a bonus too.
Definitely, they want to find any excuse to arrest us, to lock us up, whether it be in prison or some kind of mental health facility. They want to get you for a crooked toenail. I saw the other day, the police are giving people fines now for their passenger in the car, watching something on their phone.
Crazy.
It's a prison system we're living in, looking to impoverish the people, looking to get you into prison any way that they can, to waste your time in the courts, to take away your license, to take away your right to travel freely. We're going to keep going.
Absolutely. It's a prison industrial complex, and they'll use any resources or measures to fine or imprison people. It all goes back into that agenda that they've got in play to weaken and destabilise humanity. Some of these laws, they're absolutely tyrannical. Someone left the windows down in their vehicle and then they received a fine. They own that vehicle. That's their right to leave their windows down. That's their choice. They shouldn't be copping infringement notices on a car that they own.
I've taken a bunch of beatings at the hands of police, pretty good beatings, pretty good hidings, what I mean? Over the past being arrested, I had a lot of anger and animosity towards these people, rightly so. But, with jiu-jitsu, I'm training with a couple of guys who are working in that industry, and it's an industry. And these guys don't like what they're doing, but they're stuck with a mortgage, they're stuck with, I don't want to say stuck with, but they have a wife, they have children, they have a family, and now they got to pay the bills. They realise that they're working for an evil system, but they got to keep food on the table. And it's very difficult for us who are fighting tooth and nail, up against these pedophiles, to have empathy for the people on the other side, for the police, for the military. But, training with these guys and getting to know them on a personal level, I realize they're just men like you and me. They just want what's best for their families. So we need to be very wary in walking that line, because everybody is responsible for their actions. And I condemn the people who are working for the government, whether it be the police, the military, paper pushers, doctors, nurses, teachers, because in reality, they're working for the system and propagating the system that's enslaving themselves and their families. But at the same time, I realize that they may not have the strength that I have, and we need to have empathy for those people.
What progress have you made in the last year since we've spoke with the Save the World Army? I know there's been quite a few accomplishments. Last time I was in touch, you were looking at some sort of land, self-sufficient, viable resources put on there so you can have a future in some sort of community. Was that the plan, Joe?
Yeah, and the good thing is we implemented that plan, and I was able to purchase that piece of land just 2 hours north of Sydney in North Arm Cove. It's just under 800 metres square, but it's in the middle of the bush, man. No neighbours within cooling. Literally, you can yell at the top of your lungs and nobody will hear you. And we built our first shelter there out of the local paper bark trees and some other materials. And we've got a few trees growing there. I haven't been there in a few months because the stinking police made me lose my license because I had cannabis in my saliva or something like that. So I have to go back up there after winter. But the good thing is, a piece of land is there. Save the World land is operational. There is shelter, there is food, there is water there. And I want to throw this out there to all the Save the World warriors in Australia and across the seas. If you are broke, if you can't pay your rent, if you're having any type of family issues or any type of issues at all, send me a message at the Save the World Army. I'll let you know how to get there. Like I said, it's just 2 hours north of Newcastle, and there's food, water, and shelter, and pub, and that's what it's all about.
Wow, that's really remarkable. Full credit to you. And when I heard of that idea, I thought that's genius. That's something that I would have liked to have come up with, a plan like that to provide stability for people that are living in uncertainty. That's very rewarding.
I'm very glad. I had too much help from the warriors to make it happen, because I spent most of the money myself to get the land. I sold my gold and silver, but the last $1,000 or $1,500 was donated from so many Save the World warriors all over the world. I want to thank you guys so much, and so many resources, pavers, tarps, poles, shovels, tools were donated. I got to thank Save the World warrior vegan chef 879, who spent so many weeks there with me, cutting the trees down and building that shelter. And even though I haven't been there in a few months, it's there. And the crazy thing is, as the 5G is pushed all over these cities, it's going to become more and more odious, more and more oppressive. And I do see a time in the next few years where I'm going to retreat to Save the World land, where I'm surrounded by bush, and you can't even get a phone signal, let alone a 4G signal.
Wow, it's wonderful to have a plan in place that you can implement like that, because it's a prison society, and if you have a safe refuge to go to, that's really good for peace of mind. And a lot of people are looking at moving off the grid now. They want to become self-sufficient, away from mobile phones, technology. They want to be able to, from seed to sale, have their own plants, non-GMO, have everything back to nature, back how we should be living, a more simple lifestyle, free of tyrannical governments and the enslavement that's been put upon us.
If you go onto a real estate website, if you're in New South Wales, check out North Arm Cove. There are blocks of land. There's no water, there's no electricity, there's no sewage. The roads aren't even paved, but that means that you have seclusion away from the stinking government goons.
What a brilliant idea. And the way that you could execute that, fantastic. I'm going to be looking into that myself. That's wonderful. Back with nature and tranquility. That's where we all should be living, not in these concrete jungles run by Freemasons and criminal elements of government. And what they're doing, natural medicines, like you said, anybody that tries to heal themselves, they just want to push people on that pharmaceutical path. Anyone that looks at, vitamin B17, cannabis tinctures, medicines, they just want to demonise and criminalise and have people on that pharmaceutical route that's destroying people. And you see other countries are making great steps forward. They've legalised, decriminalised. A lot of the profits go back to public schools and hospitals. So you can see it's a clear-cut case that this is so beneficial for the population. But here in Australia, we're kept in the dark ages as far as natural medicines. They're fighting to keep it out of the hands of the sick people that need it that most desperately.
Saying you're exactly right, brother, but the good thing is that we are making progress, massive progress on that front. I'd like to mention Save the World Sergeant 1200 Cabellos. He's my jiu-jitsu professor. The guy's a very high-level international black belt competitor. And you know in the United States how the jiu-jitsu community is pushing cannabis oil and CBD oil into the mainstream.
Absolutely.
The same thing here in Australia. Because of his recent success on the international circuit, he's been sponsored by a CBD oil company here in Australia.
This is basically designed perfectly for humans and all elements. And if more people were aware of this, we'd have more happy, healthy people with an appetite than drunk and angry people wanting to get into fights. So, more education needs to be put in place at a base level and educate people in the communities, even back at the school system. I think what we need right now is a radical overhaul of the education system. What's being taught is a lot of it's lies, false truths, and, the agenda that they're pushing through is LGBTQ.
This mind control, my man, it is so disgusting, demonic. In the TV shows, the movies, the music, in the schools, they're teaching the children it's cool to chop their nuts off and become a transgender. It is destroying their minds. These kids don't even know how to tie their shoelaces, and they're teaching them all this perverse stuff designed to destroy their minds, to totally fry their sense of reality, to split apart the family, and to destroy masculinity, to destroy femininity, to destroy the family unit. That's why it's so important to stand up against these fools, despite the continued legislation being pushed where they're making it illegal to even speak out against these atrocities.
That's exactly what's happening. It's horrendous, it's unholy, it goes against everything that was written in the Bible. They're trying to break down the Mother, Father and Child, the Holy Trinity, and they're putting through this disgusting transgender agenda. They're trying to corrupt the minds of the innocent. They're already confused enough growing up in this world, and then they're bombarded with these cross-dressing transvestites in libraries reading children's books to the infants. Parents all over the world should be outraged at this. It's destroying future generations and corrupting the young. We're seeing it in movies, TV. There's Freemason rituals to rise up in celebrity status. They're forcing a lot of the stars to wear a dress now. I mean, it just goes against everything that's right and everything that's pure. They just want to destroy that with this new world order that's put in place. It's evil, it's wrong on so many levels, and I feel sorry for a lot of the parents with children that are put in that predicament where they're hit with that propaganda and that brainwashing. We're living in very dark times, Joe, and we need to join forces and get this information out, because there's a lot of concerned parents out there. They don't know what to do.
We live in very dark times, my brother, but when the darkness overcomes the people, we're going to shine our own light.
I want to thank you once again
Thank you so much, man.
Thanks once again for coming on the program, Joe. You've been a wonderful role model for people in your community. You've provided valuable information that's going to help a lot of people. I wish you all the best. We'll keep in touch and let's keep making progress. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm sure we should do this again very soon. I want to thank you for all the hard work that you do, man. You know, we're only getting started, my brother. We're going to win this thing together.
Once again, I want to thank General Smokin Joe for coming on the program, sharing his wisdom, sending through these tags and recruiting me in the Save the World Army. I'll see you on the next episode of the We Are Change talk show, where we expose corruption one episode at a time. Are you fed up with the propaganda and deception from mainstream media? Well, you deserve better. That's why the We Are Change talk show is here. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Australia Unite for Children's Rights event. My name's Jeff O'Toole. Have you experienced an injustice or a form of corruption? Well, phone the We Are Change talk show today.
My son has, he contracted Listeria meningitis at birth, but I believe this happened to him intentionally, that somebody actually got to him and poisoned him.
If you could look into the camera and speak to these accusers, what would you say to them?
I'd say to them to actually go and find someone real to go and chase and to leave me alone, because I don't deserve the treatment that I'm getting from you, that's for sure. And you guys should actually be held accountable for the harassment and all the undue stress and money that you have cost me over all this time.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Like you said, I think people need to work together.
Pleasure, brother. Nice to see some voices in Australia doing this sort of thing.
It's a pleasure to be here, and certainly appreciate the platform that you've created.
Thank you for having me on. We Are Change has a great reputation, so I'm glad to be on your show. And
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and I appreciate it as well.
Excellent. Good luck.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me, and just, thanks for supporting victims down there.
So don't hesitate. Phone the We Are Change talk show today. The number is on your screen.